Hello family, how you doing? So I know it's been a while, it's been at least a month now, and I have been going through some major changes and major transformation, and I've been going through it, okay? I've been going through it, and I know some of you all have been going through it too, probably ever since the eclipse and before the eclipse. So I know I'm usually a very open book and I share everything and I talk about everything, and I'm gonna share just about everything that I have been going through within this month, but there are certain details that I'm not ready to share. I feel like the energy of it is kind of heavy and I want to keep it light as possible. Before I get into sharing what has happened since the last video I made, which was that trailer that I made to just, make a trailer for the channel. Ever since then, there's been, sheesh, you have no idea. But what I will start off with is something that kind of triggered this whole change and transformation, and that is Moldivite. It's where it all started, and I have a piece on here today. It's the middle one. So Moldivite is a crystal. It's a stone, but it's actually from outer space. So just to give you a little background, Moldivite, millions of years ago, a meteorite landed on Earth in the Czech Republic. That's where it was, and it landed near there's a river called the Moldau River. I think Moldau River. So that's where the Moldivite, where the name comes from. So it landed there and it mixed with whatever was there and formed this very powerful crystal that's a very dark green, moldy looking color. It's like a evergreen, a dark green color. It usually, like from this distance, it probably looks like almost black, but when you hold it to the light, you can see through it and it's a green color. It's very powerful. And I bought it back in 2019 when this whole awakening thing started for me. And I was reading up about it back then, and people were talking about how powerful it is, how it's going to become extinct at some point because it's not something that you can find again. It comes from a meteorite. So the prices are going up on it. When I bought this piece, it was like $30-something. This piece now, something this side, will be over $100, and that was just a couple of years ago. So it's going up. It's becoming more extinct, and people are becoming more aware of it. So if you want to invest in some destruction and change of your life, listen, it's a good destruction, because it's going to take away what your ego has put in place for you. It's going to remove that. That's what happens. So now there's a lot of fake ones. People are now making fake Moldivite. That's how popular it is. So what you want to do is most likely go to a crystal shop, and that's where you'll most likely find a real Moldivite. If you're ordering it online, you're taking a chance. If it's really shiny, then it's probably not Moldivite. If the price is very low, then it's probably not Moldivite, unless it's a super tiny little chip or a little piece of it, because like I said, the price is taking off now. Now for most of you, you already know about this stuff, but then there's some people that are still skeptical about crystals and they don't really believe they work, and I'm just here to tell you, oh, they work. Okay, they work. All right. You have to think about it like this. You know how there's certain plants that grow from the earth, plant medicine that actually helps us, whether it's marijuana or mushrooms or ayahuasca. These are plant medicines that grow from the earth. Crystals and these stones are formed in layers of the earth. So they're very powerful, very healing, help with a variety of things, whether it's from addiction to like inner healing and trauma, and like there's so many things that they help with if you do some research on them. Not too long ago, I have a coworker who has been taking a crystal course. She's taking a class on crystals to learn more about them. And she asked me one day, she's like, Nadia, what's the largest crystal? And I'm just sitting here racking my brain like the largest crystal. I'm like, I've seen some huge pieces of amethyst, so could it be amethyst? I'm just trying to figure it out. And she just said, Earth. Kind of deep, ain't it? I was just like, wow. So when many of us, we go through these energetic shifts and we're feeling like we're not, grounded, we walk barefoot on earth in order to ground ourselves. And that's the same thing that we do with the crystals as far as keeping them with us to help us and protect us even. So I thought that was pretty deep, so I just wanted to share that with you. The largest crystal is earth. What does Moldivite do? What does it do? Moldivite is a stone of transformation and change. It helps you to dissolve the ego. And a lot of what we do in life, most of us, is because of our ego. And that's in a variety of things. So when you start to lose your ego and lose interest in the things that you have, that your ego has created for you, that can feel like your life is coming to an end. This is ridiculous. Just to give you an example, let's say they've gone to school and they got a bunch of degrees and they've spent a lot of money, they got a lot of school loads, they're busting their butt to get these degrees, and they're doing it because they want people to be proud of them and they want to show that they did this and they accomplished that, and they start wearing Moldivite and suddenly they don't even want to follow that career path anymore. And it's because the ego was the reason they wanted to follow that career path in the first place. So now that they're losing the ego, it's like, I don't want to do that anymore. But then they're fighting with it because it's like, how could I not want to do, like, I went to school all this time. This is what I wanted. I wanted this. I wanted that. And as you lose the ego, it's like, no, you don't. Your ego wanted that. Your ego wanted to prove something, but you don't really want that. And it's the same thing with some marriages and relationships. Some people stay in relationships because of the look of it, They want to prove something, prove that they can have a long, successful, and healthy relationship, even though there's things going on that proves that the relationship isn't that great. They will ignore that because the ego, it just wants to keep up this facade, this look for other people, They start wearing the Moldivite, and then the veil is lifted, and now they see the relationship for exactly what it is, and they realize that it's not working for them. So this is examples of what the Moldivite will do to you. See, this is why I know that this landed here for us. It landed here to help us with our evolution, because if everyone in the world could experience some form of loss of ego or ego death, the world will be a beautiful place. And that's real. It will be a much better place. Well, now that I have explained some of the things that happens with the Moldivite and where it comes from and everything, here's what's been going on with me. So that last video that I made was a trailer that I made to just kind of be creative and set my channel up and do something cute or whatever. And that day is the first day I actually had the Moldivite on. I actually had the Moldivite and the fluorite, the two. I have right now, this is meteorite, Moldivite, and fluorite. So I only had the Moldivite and the fluorite on. One of the lady at my job, she's the one who told me that was a powerful combination. And like I said, I've had this crystal for years, but I never wore it. I just had it in a dish with all the rest of my crystals, and I just decided to wear it. Since she told me it was such a powerful transformation, maybe my higher self already knew it was time for a change. So I like to wrap them myself with the wire and stuff, and I wore it that day when I made the trailer, and I went to the mall with my girls. I took the little ones in there with me. Me and the older one, we're buying panties, having a good, fun girl day. We're in the car listening to 80s music, dancing and singing. I felt full of energy and really happy, really happy. It affects people differently. Some people say they start feeling lightheaded or dizzy from wearing Moldivite. Some people hold it in their hand and they can feel like a vibration, or like they feel the energy of it. And then there's some people who it will take a longer time to work on. They just have to continue wearing it. But for me, like I said, it started off with this excitement and just having a fun-filled day. I was just happy. A couple days later, the veil has lifted, and now I start seeing everything that's wrong with my life. I start realizing that I have been fooling myself in a way in regards to a lot of things. Or my tricky ego has been fooling me or whatever. And it scared the shit out of me. So I started to really worry and stress and panic, and I was just in fear. I became afraid. I just felt like everything was falling apart, and just like, what's happening, And in the middle of all that panicking, I truly believe my immune system kind of shut down. And I remember going to work on the 27th. That number, right? I know that's a number we always see, 27. I went to work, and that was the 27th. I did a couple of massages, and then I went to the grocery store and went home. And when I got there, I started feeling like I was coming down with something. So later, find out that I have COVID, right? So that's what happened. That's what happened to me in this month. I ended up with COVID too, along with this whole transformation. It was the way it happened, I know it was meant to happen that way. It's like the Moldivite hit me, and since this is going to be and it's still working on me, since this was going to be a rough transformation for me, I got sick, and it was almost like, so you would sit your ass down for a minute and just relax and release and cry and do all the stuff you need to do, and just purge and heal and let it out. And that's what happened. The COVID, the symptoms were mostly nausea and headaches. It wasn't like sneezing, running, nothing crazy, but I just didn't feel good for a while. And I had, like I said, headaches and nausea, and I know that comes from the shutdown of my immune system due to the fear of this change that's happening in my life. So I guess I say that to say that there's nothing that can prevent you from getting COVID, because I work out, I'm pretty healthy, I eat pretty well, and get sun. I take my kids out every day, and we ride bikes, and we get out in the sun, and I exercise, I do all of that. But just the mental stress and sadness and sorrow and worry, that is what made me sick. That is what shut my immune system down. That's how I got sick. So my advice to you all is take care of yourself. The vaccination will not prevent you from getting COVID again. And there's nothing that can truly prevent it. It can happen. So the best thing to do is take care of yourself and not worry and stress so much. And be healthy, so that even when it does get you, if it gets you, you can recover from it. It's not gonna be the end of the world for you. You have one case, people don't even know they have COVID, and the next case, someone's dead. So it's anywhere between that scale of what can happen to you, but it all has to do with your immune system. So take care of yourself. Be healthy. So I really just wanted to catch up with you all and let you know what's been going on with me, aside from having COVID. And it's been gone. I already tested negative twice before I had to go back to work. And aside from that, I am going through a lot of changes. My world is becoming a different world. And I want to thank you all for like always being here. You're waiting on me and you know, supporting me. I have never come on this channel like I am the teacher, listen to me, I can tell you everything. No, that's not what it is. I'm going through this. I created this channel when I started first, when this spiritual awakening first happened. That's when I created this channel. And I was pushed and forced into creating it even when I didn't want to. I was scared and shy and everything. But I'm going through it with many of you. So that's why I said I serve as a confirmation for many of you. And sharing my experience with you will sometimes give you the answers to what you need. So I want to thank you all for supporting me and understanding that I'm going through it just like many of you. There's quite a bit of us who are going through these spiritual awakening experiences, psychic awakening experiences, intuition. That's another thing. The Moldivite also increases those gifts. So I have been feeling very intuitive lately. Just like I said, seeing through shit, seeing through people. The veil is lifted. That's how I feel. And it's not fun. Okay? So there's quite a few things I want to make other videos about. I want to talk about the age of Aquarius and the things that I have been seeing happening and just signs of change that have just been really amazing to see and to be a part of. And I'll probably talk about that in my next video. I gotta become more consistent with what I'm doing here. It's time to get on it. But once again, thank you all. Thanks for joining me. Thanks for watching my videos. Thanks for supporting me. And I'll see you all soon. Peace and blessings.